switching over screens right now, and
do you still believe in frauding with me?
Frauding?
You know what frauding is?
No.
It's when two dudes put their dicks together and they drink.
Oh.
There's a word for that.
My VTube studio crashed.
Are you still streaming?
Yeah, I just switched scenes. Switching over screens. Oh god, I gotta mute the other, because I keep it up in the background. You just hear, hey.
Do you still believe in anal sex?
Aren't you supposed to be going to bed?
Know that I'm your brother too. All of this is so cute.
Yeah.
But incest is only a law.
Is only what?
Olive.
Oh god.
She's a baby girl.
She is.
She's a baby girl. Why is she like smirking like that?
Go take your melatonin.
You can't tell me what to do, Daddy.
Okay. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
You can't groom me anymore.
Stop.
Hey, brother. Do you still want to have sex with our mother?
What the fuck? Are you setting the energy for tomorrow? Ah, I'm getting beat up by Winter.
Hey, sister. Do you also want to have sex with our brother? Oh, when this.
Are you okay?
Oh, when our father walks into the room, we're asking if he wants to join too. No. What if he gets the gun? Well, sister, we all run together.
Winter says they're scared. Okay, I'm scared too.
Oh.
Oh, that's why that looks so odd. Okay.
If my brother. What?
Now I'm looking at the model that I'm working on. Yeah.
Did you know?
That your mom's a hoe.
No, did you know that the dinosaurs didn't live for millions of years? Because if they did, they would have evolved to be smart. Because humans evolved to be smart, and it didn't take them millions of years. Human civilization exists for 2,000. I mean, humans took 2,000 years to get smart. The dinosaurs lived for millions, and they weren't smart. Know why? Because they were demons. Demons can't get smart. evolve. That's why evolution is fake, and that's why the dinosaurs are only alive right before humans. They ruled the earth after the Great Flood when God wiped out all the humans. They ruled the earth because of the Great Flood.
You really concern me sometimes.
That's why the liberals want to be in government, because the CIA has the technology to bring the dinosaurs back to life. Because they want to resurrect their demon brethren to rule the world once again with terror and fear, because they're all giants and they can kill all the humans, and they're resistant to nuclear weapons because they were so nuclear. They say it was so nuclear radiated. Anyways, but I know the CIA has the technology to bring back the dinosaurs if they wanted to, because they own the weather machines. The weather machines that's controlled by the CIA, so the government can steal all our land. Powered by the 5G towers. You know what 5G stands for? 5 grams. They don't know. They haven't uncovered what 5 grams means because the CIA keeps killing all the whistleblowers. But sorry, I don't put my glasses on for this. But why are you frog blinking? Am I boring you?
Oh, you can see me.
Yes, I can say you, bitch. Anyways, oh look, it's Chikorita. She's flying away. Anyways, 5G. I don't know what the 5. They take some sort of 5 grand of energy from you because the weather machine is powered by the 5G towers. It sends energy to the weather machine, and the 5G towers get the energy from the 5G chips that they put in them from the COVID vaccine. Taking 5 grams of some sort of energy from your body every hour and send it to the 5G towers, and the 5G towers convert all that energy into energy for the weather machine, so the government can control the weather and they can set stuff on fire with the lasers, and they can use the weather machine to make winds to make hurricanes. All the sheeple that got the COVID vaccine, which was millions of them, they just sent energy to the weather machine. I didn't get mine. I had COVID 5 times. I didn't die, so we all know it's a lie. I didn't even put on one of them damn muzzles.
Mm-hmm.
Don't me, bitch. You know I'm right. That's why you ain't got no reply.
Uh-huh.
You ain't got no reply to me because you know I'm right. You don't even have a talking point. Liberal.
Uh-huh.
No, me. I hate it when you do that. The only reason I marry you is because you a cracker. Everyone knows that you're a superior race. So you don't have blue eyes. But that's okay. I can live with green. They put them damn piercings in your lips. Poison in your body with lead. They all have lead. You're going to die. That's why you got so much brain damage, because you're a liberal. You got them lead piercings in your mouth. One day I'm going to use the pussy hair on both sides of my lips and braid it to those things and tow you away like you a damn trailer.
I haven't even put on music yet. It's just dead silence to your crackhead rambling.
It's not funny. You won't be attached to me by the lips instead of the hips. Mouth to mouth. You're going to have pink eye by next week. Be pink as the rest of your skin. Little strawberry bitch. Little red baby bitch. You're going to look like a Werther's original strawberry. You'll be like the human centipede, sexier with lesbians.
Okay.
Lesbian centipede.
Okay.
Are you ready for tomorrow's Try Not to Laugh challenge?
No.
I'm wasting all my jokes on you right now.
You are.
I'm gonna pull. I hope Shannon's here so I can pull out that tying my pussy hair.
Oh, God.
Here's snake bite. It's his head.
We gotta stock up on alcohol tomorrow. Yippee! God, she's so fucking crazy, dude. I love her, but holy shit. Okay. We're gonna chill to some r slash videos while I just vibe. Oh, I'm on the wrong account, and I'm like, this don't look right. Those are thick ass toe pops. Okay. Let's see.
Welcome to r/petty revenge, where someone gives an unwanted semen sample. Our next Reddit post is
What?
from Xbox Gamer. I worked in a cubicle farm. There were 4 rows of 4 cubicles. There was one coworker who never used the handset on his phone. Every call he made or received was made using the speaker. He also tended to shout into it, even though it wasn't necessary to raise his voice to be picked up by the microphone. There had been a few complaints from some of us to him, but he ignored them. One Monday morning, he called a doctor's office to report that he was having urinary troubles. He made an
Bro.
appointment for the next morning at 9 o'clock. Then he called our boss and said that he'd be coming in late tomorrow. All of this was broadcast via his speaker and loud voice. I talked my wife into calling his extension the next morning, while he was at the doctor's office, to leave a message, using a script that I'd written out for her. She did, and left the message on his voicemail after blocking her caller ID. When he arrived at the office after the doctor's appointment, he started listening to his voicemail messages on speaker. The first was work-related, but the second was the one my wife left for him. It was something like this. Mr. Smith, this is Jane from Dr. So-and-so's office. We need you to come back here today if possible. You were supposed to give us a urine sample, not a semen sample. He quickly punched the end call button. But it was too late. The whole cube farm erupted in laughter. He knew that it had to be one of us, but didn't recognize the voice. He never used the speakerphone again. I was confident the way this story was going was your wife said, "Oh, you have chlamydia or gonorrhea or some other semi-embarrassing STD." But this joke was 10 times better. Our next Reddit post is from Literature Strong. I was working for the toll authority before they got rid of them for Easy Pass. This guy comes through with a toll of about $5. He raised his cupped hands up towards me, full of pennies and nickels. Once I took them, he said, "Here you go, enjoy counting," while laughing to himself. So I told him, "Enjoy waiting right there until I'm done counting. Otherwise, I'll call the state troopers to bring you back." He pouted the entire time while I stacked pennies, and accidentally knocked them over, having to start again a couple of times. He was over by 20 cents. I gave the 20 cents back to him and said, "Here's your change. Aren't you glad you waited?" You know how when you're trying to fall asleep at night and your brain will flood you with embarrassing memories from your past? I bet the "here's your change, aren't you glad you waited" line is going to be the line that keeps this guy up at night. Our next Reddit post is from Sobriety Junkie. A few years ago, my boyfriend of nearly 5 years left me for some woman that he met at work. I'd suspected that he was cheating on me for a while, but I never had any proof. Until I came home one day to find all of his belongings gone. The only thing he left behind was a note that read, "I'm so sorry for everything I've put you through. I'm not leaving because I don't love you. I'm leaving because it's just not working anymore. You deserve to be happy.
Damn.
I'm sorry I couldn't give that to you." Needless to say, I was devastated. But that heartbreak quickly turned into rage when I logged onto Facebook 2 days later and saw that he was already in a relationship with some random woman that I'd never even heard of.
Damn,
As much as I wanted to
Brody.
reach out, I resisted. Days turned into weeks, and eventually he contacted me first. He left me a voicemail, slurring and crying about how leaving me was the biggest mistake of his life, and how he wished that he could take it all back. I wasn't interested in hearing any of it. I'd heard his drunken apologies too many times before, but I let him ramble on, and in the midst of his groveling, an idea came to me. We continued texting and talking secretly over the next week until he finally asked to see me. I agreed. He showed up at my house around 9 p.m., driving his new girlfriend's brand new car. He was completely trashed, reeking of booze and who knows what else. My disgust was real, but I played nice. He made a few sloppy attempts to sleep with me, but I shut him down each time. I did, however, drink with him. Part of the plan. Eventually, he passed out cold in my bed. I shook him, slapped his face lightly, even tickled the bottoms of his feet since he's ridiculously ticklish. Nothing worked. He was out cold. So I moved on to phase 2. Very carefully, I planted a massive hickey on his neck. A real showstopper. Then I snapped a picture of us lying side by side. Next, I grabbed a piece of paper, put on some bright red lipstick, and wrote, "Sweet ride. Hope you don't mind, but we broke the back seat in for you. P.S. You're welcome." I sealed the note with a kiss mark and slipped it into the glove compartment of her car. Then I went back inside and drafted a text with the photo attached to his new girlfriend. The caption read, "Check your glove compartment." Satisfied, I went to sleep on the couch. The next morning, he woke up groggy and confused. When he realized where he was, he freaked out, panicking over what he'd tell his girlfriend and begging me to keep quiet. I smiled sweetly and promised my lips were sealed. As soon as he stumbled out the door, without even glancing in a mirror, I hit send on the message. Then OP posted an update. Their girlfriend tried calling me for days after that. Obviously, so did he. I ignored both of their phone calls. I figured I'd let him soak in his own misery for a while and let her decide what she wanted to do with his sorry, cheating self. Long story short, she ultimately ended up dumping him. He immediately tried crawling back to me yet again. But this time, I told him to shove it where the sun don't shine. The calls eventually stopped, and I've since moved on to bigger and better things, lol. Our next Reddit post is from Cupcake Parlor. I'm someone who struggles with being overly kind and accommodating, especially on planes. I'm a small person, and people usually assume that means they can encroach upon my space on planes instead of just upgrading themselves to a more accommodating seat. Finally, I was fed up, and I knew that I no longer wanted to sacrifice my sustainability and comfort for selfish, undeserving humans. I have the window seat, and someone who was boarded quite late comes in pushing her oversized carry-on, winter coat, purse, and shaggy blanket onto me. She didn't push her carry-on under her seat because it wouldn't fit. She threw her shaggy blanket onto my seat while I'm sitting there. She placed her purse on my feet. She placed her headphones on and closed her eyes as if I'm invisible. I move the blanket and purse back to her side. The flight attendant comes around and tells her about her luggage, which she ignores. They assume she can't hear them. She continues to ignore. They tap her shoulder and she ignores. They shake her shoulder and she finally follows their instructions. Before you know it, her coat, blanket, and purse are on my side again. She's fast asleep, elbows flung, and having sweet dreams. I do my best to move her things. Now her mouth is open and she has terrible breath. We're about to land. She's wide awake and on her phone. She puts her gross blanket back on me so she has more room. Finally, I get assertive. She then yanks her blanket as if I'm in the wrong for not wanting her things all over me and my space. The plane lands and she gets up aggressively and charges off the plane with a foul attitude. Except she forgot her purse. Normally I would have said, "Oh, hey, looks like you forgot something." But it's not my job to help nasty, entitled individuals. The flight attendants will surely catch her before she leaves the gate. Nope. I see her walk through the food court and through the ground transportation doors. I wonder how far she'll get without her purse. We have no idea where OP is flying to. I hope this is an international flight, because if this woman doesn't have her passport, she could just be forced to fly back to where she came from. Our next Reddit post is from Love to Bath. I was with my ex for a while. It was an unhappy relationship. I had bladder control issues and irritable bowel syndrome. Whenever I needed to go to the bathroom, my ex would run in first and take their sweet time just to irritate me and make me suffer. It went on for a long time, and one day I just about had it. We had 2 cats and 2 litter boxes. One day, my ex went running to the bathroom and he was just playing on his phone and plucking his face hair and refused to let me go. So I decided I would just go poop in the cat's litter box. Not only was it a big poop, but I also peed a little. The cats literally wouldn't use that litter box after. And then my ex came and was investigating it, and he saw and he goes, "Wow, they pooped a lot. No wonder they want their box cleaned." And I just sat there and watched him clean up my poop and pee. That was near the end of our relationship, and he never found out. OP, I can appreciate you causing some sort of, trauma or suffering for your ex here, but what about the poor cats? What did they have to do with this? The poor cats are just minding their own business, and then you drop a giant human-sized turd in their place of peace and sanctuary. Yo, imagine you go to the toilet and you find out an elephant took a massive pile dump all over your toilet. That's probably what the cats felt at that moment. And you gotta keep in mind, animals mark territory as like a way to, establish boundaries and assert dominance. These cats are probably like, "Whoa, calm down, lady, whatever you want. You win. Please, we're just little kitties." Our next Reddit post is from Etio. I work as a software engineer, and in my team, we follow the usual process of writing code, reviewing it, testing it, and deploying it. One of my coworkers, Steve, has a habit of taking credit for other people's work in front of management. He isn't a bad developer, but he loves making it seem like he was doing more than he actually was. I'm quite introverted, so I don't usually speak up in meetings unless I have to. Calling someone out directly doesn't come naturally to me, so I usually just let things slide. During a big project, I spent days fixing a complicated bug. The problem ran deep, and the fix had to work across different parts of the code. If you hadn't actually worked on it, it was pretty hard to follow. After a lot of testing, I finally got it done. At the next meeting, before I could even say a word, Steve jumped in and started explaining my fix as if it was his. He kept saying things like, "We decided to," and "our approach was to," making it sound like he was the person behind it. I was annoyed, but I kept quiet. The next day, another bug popped up in the same area of the code. Our manager turned to Steve and said, "Since you worked on this, can you patch it?" And that's when the fun started. Steve froze. The thing is, if you didn't actually write the fix, it wasn't easy to understand how it all fit together. He had no idea where to even begin. He tried stalling and even sent me a message asking if I could explain the logic of the code real quick. I told him I was busy at the moment and that I'll catch up with him later on. But I didn't. After 5 hours of him struggling, he finally admitted in the team chat and wrote something like, "Actually, I didn't write this part. Maybe OP can take a look." I replied, "Of course, I'll check it." 10 minutes later, I had it fixed. Our manager came over and congratulated me. We were chatting for a bit, and before heading off, he made a deliberate comment about how great it was having someone who actually understands what we're working on. Steve didn't say a word. F you, Steve. Kinda guessing here, but based on my reading of the story, it sounds like your manager actually knew that Steve was stealing credit and was just waiting for an opportunity for Steve to hang himself. Our next Reddit post is from Best Spaghetti Western. I was parked in a student parking structure and was stuck on a phone call before heading out. There was an SUV that pulled in next to me, and for a few minutes, one of the girls had her door open while she was looking through the back seat. The door kept banging into my car, and I look over and see that she wasn't paying attention. When all was said and done, her other friend came from the other side of the car and they both left. I noticed the friend pointing out that her door was hitting my car, and that's when she looked and saw me sitting in my car. I shook my head at her after seeing that she was chuckling at the situation. I didn't say anything because I was still on the phone. They were long gone by the time I finished my call. So I pulled my car to park on the other side of her car and proceeded to slam my car door into hers repeatedly until some dents started caving in. My car's super old, so no biggie. But just because it's old doesn't mean people should be careless dicks about it. Anyways, it went fine, and I felt a lot better about the situation overall. Stories like this are so weird. Like when two people both buy for the same parking spot and one person gets in and acts all smug about it and they walk off as if they won. But like now you've just left an angry person with one of your most expensive belongings. So they can key your car or piss on your door handle or let the air out of your tires or ding your doors. It's just so stupid to pick fights with people who know where you park your car, you know? Our next Reddit post is from Coffee Beans. My Indian mother-in-law thinks that she's the best cook in the world and that everyone, including her son and daughter-in-law, should beg for her cooking. Well, culturally, I'm not used to a lot of Indian food because of the spices, but I will try to eat the ones that I can enjoy. A lot of times, I'll politely tell her that I'm not hungry, or I'll munch on some. But sometimes that's not a good enough response, and she'll start guilt-tripping me with, "So, you don't like my cooking?" Or, "Everyone loves my food, why don't you?" My significant other usually will jump in to stop her, but it always puts me in a weird spot since on day one of meeting me, she told me point blank that she doesn't like Chinese food. I'm Chinese, and it kinda threw me off because there are so many varieties of Chinese food. And for her to say that she hates the entire category seems odd to me. So, I recently started bringing food that I made whenever visiting her and telling her how excited I am to cook for her and that I hope she likes my cooking. She usually brushes it off, saying she's not hungry or that she'll eat it later. I turn the tables on her, looking sad and asking her why she doesn't like my cooking. It's very entertaining to watch her try to make excuses that she knows are BS. She hasn't asked me to eat her stuff since, so I guess this petty revenge is working. That was r/petty revenge, and if you like this content, check out my podcast where I publish the exact same episodes. Also, hit that subscribe button because I put out new Reddit videos every single day. Welcome to r/True Off My Chest, where OP's husband is having an affair with his sister. Our next Reddit post is from
What?
Walter. I think my husband is sleeping with his sister again.
Again?
When my husband was 12, his mother passed. At age 14, his father remarried. His stepmother also had a daughter his age. They all lived in one house. Apparently, my husband and his stepsister used to sneak around their parents and engage in adult activities. This went on for years. Me and my husband married at 23. I always thought my husband and his stepsister were close, but I just assumed that it was from growing up together. A few years ago, I found out that my husband was having an affair with his stepsister. I didn't even know what to say. I had no idea this relationship even existed. I can't even wrap my mind around it. Obviously, me and my husband entered counseling where I found out all the details from his childhood and just how close they really were. Somehow, I was able to overcome it for the sake of our children. However, for the past few months, my husband has been acting weird. Coming home late, being protective of his phone, not wanting to have intercourse like he always does. And I swear I can even smell his sister's perfume on him. We barely got through it the first time, and I'll be devastated if I find out that it's happening again. My husband claims that she was his first love, but I'm his forever and after love, the one that he can't live without. OP, you said that you stuck with your husband for the sake of your kids. I don't think you're doing your kids any favors here. Yeah, I'm so
No.
glad that mommy stayed with daddy while daddy was banging on whoever. That didn't mess me up at all. Our next Reddit post is from Oopsie Doodle. This happened a couple of decades ago when my youngest son was in kindergarten. A little backstory. My first wife and I got married young. We had 2 children, both boys, and after only a handful of years, divorced amicably, with me having full custody. Our youngest looked very much like me. Brown hair, brown eyes, stocky, and broad-shouldered. You could tell by the time that he was 2 that he'd be a great football player, if he decided to go down that path. Our oldest son, while sharing some obvious traits with me, looked more like his mother. Blonde hair, blue eyes, with very pale, thin skin. This will be important later. After the divorce, life moved on. My best friend and roommate helped me raise the boys, and eventually I met another woman. After dating for some time, we eventually got married. As far as I knew, she loved the boys just as much as I, and we both agreed on discipline, which consisted mostly of appropriate timeouts and talking to the boys to explain why they'd gotten in trouble. Corporal punishment was never a thing in our house. One day, the 2 of them got into an argument over a toy. The argument ended when the elder son tried to grab the toy out of the brother's hands, and in an effort to keep the toy to himself, the younger child accidentally elbowed his brother in the face. Suddenly, they were both screaming and crying, so I stepped in and sent them both to different rooms to cool off. We had a discussion about sharing, and in the end, they went back to happily playing with each other. At dinner, I noticed that the eldest was developing a black eye because he was so fair and thin-skinned. He bruised easily, so I sat him back down with an ice pack and gave him some children's Tylenol. He didn't seem to be bothered by it, and the evening continued as normal. The next day, I sent my kid off to school. About 3 hours later, 2 county sheriffs and a social worker from CPS knocked on my door. They arrested my wife, and the social worker took my youngest, and after a fairly rude lecture, decided I must be a reasonably okay enough dad to come to her office and wait while she questioned my son. It took me some time to find out the truth. Most normal people who see a 5-year-old with a black eye would say, "What happened?" or "How did you get the black eye?" Not this teacher. Without any evidence or inclination of anything other than a loving, caring home life, this teacher asked my son, verbatim, "Did your mommy hit you?" My son, thinking he was going to get into trouble again for fighting with his brother, said yes. The teacher then reported it to CPS, as was her obligation. I explained the situation to the social worker, who replied with, "Kids don't lie about these things." I insisted, and sometime later, my son recanted his story and told the truth. But the CPS worker held fast to the idea that kids don't lie about these things, and insinuated that him eventually telling the truth was actually a lie that I'd pressured him into. My wife spent the night in jail and was released under the stipulation that she had no contact with either child. She stayed in a hotel room for a couple of weeks, but we couldn't afford to continue doing that. Her parents offered her a plane ticket to come stay with them on the other side of the country. So, with the judge's permission, she quit her job and moved. My friend had moved out on his own, so with only one income and no affordable daycare, I had to make a choice. I contacted my first wife's parents, who I kept in touch with for the boys, and asked them to take the boys for a while. Then, I sold off most of what I owned, packed the rest into my truck, and drove across the country to live with her and her parents. My wife eventually took the case to trial and was found not guilty. The stress of everything put a serious strain on our relationship that never...
Hi, Markin! Yeah! It's rigging time again. I'm also zoning out so hard to fucking Reddit stories. But yeah. Hello. I watched a Shy Lily clip the other day, and I've got the brainworm of her going, "Hello, hello," stuck in my head. So I love the way she says it. It's so cute. But I just have Shy Lily brainworm in my head. Oh, my fingers. Here.
Recovered, and we ended up divorced a few years later. The one thing that's weird about this story is the CPS worker who said kids don't lie about this type of thing. Kids lie about everything, all the time. They're little lying machines. They'll come to you with chocolate
Yeah.
icing covering their face and their nose and even up on their forehead, and you ask them, "Did you eat a chocolate cupcake?" And they'll look you in the eyes and say, "No, I didn't." I don't want to be too harsh on the CPS worker because it's his job to believe kids. So, but still, kids are little liars. That's just how they are. Our next Reddit post is from Nixed Bones. I'm a 27-year-old guy, and I had open heart surgery a little over a week ago. It was my second surgery. My first was at the age of 4. I have tetralogy of Fallot, technically, but my case is quite severe. This condition OP describes is a rare heart condition that you're born with. Both surgeries ended up more complicated and twice as long as initially planned. Both surgeries, because of how long my chest cavity was open, swelled a lot, so they couldn't immediately suture me back up and had to wait for the swelling to go down. In both cases, I was in a medically induced coma. When I was 4, it went on longer because I would crash every time they took the breathing tube out, so that was prolonged. This recent surgery, I was in a 3-day coma, and I was supposed to be totally dead to the world, but I wasn't. I was conscious. I heard the doctors, my parents, the nurses. I felt them suctioning liquid from around my breathing tube. I felt the quick wipe down that a nurse gave me. I heard my sister on the phone with my mom. My sister tried to let me hear my mom, but the doctor said that I couldn't. I was screaming about how wrong they were in my mind. I saw the doctors when they were checking for pupil dilation. I felt them put goop, some kind of lube or eye drop stuff in my eyes, but I couldn't move my pupils. No one knew that I was alert. There was nothing on my vitals that indicated it. And when I woke up and started recounting everything, the doctors and my folks grew more and more horrified. The administration gave me an in-person apology and told me that she was launching a full-scale investigation into how this might have happened. I haven't been able to find too many other experiences like this for medically induced comas, mostly brain injury ones. Anyways, I thought this was interesting and I wanted to share. So I know this is the basic plot for at least one horror movie, which I have not seen. I kind of gleaned it from the preview because it seems like an awful movie, but the premise is weird serial killers paralyze people with chemicals and then do surgery without anesthetics. Hold on, if OP was awake, could he feel pain? Let me check the comments. Okay, this is weird. OP didn't feel the pain from having his chest opened up, but he did feel pain in his joints because he was sitting stationary for a very long period of time, and then when the nurses shifted him to a new position, he felt joint pain. This sounds like straight torture, man. Even without the pain, even without experiencing, the scalpel cutting you open, just being awake for days and days and days while doctors fondle your heart and stitch you together. Our next Reddit post is from Fatty Apples. Many years ago, when I was in high school, there was a boy who had been struggling with cancer for years. I can't exactly remember what kind of cancer, but it was terminal and it had killed another one of his relatives. He had played football throughout his childhood, but unfortunately, the illness and its aggressive treatments weakened him severely, and by high school, he was more like an honorary player. He went to all the games and got to hang out with all of his friends on the team, despite being mostly wheelchair-bound. I was a cheerleader through high school, and so we often spent a lot of time around the football players, whether it was on the bus ride to away games, near the field, or simply in the cafeteria getting folks excited for the games. The cheerleaders became pretty close with the guy because it felt like our duty to help make his high school experience memorable, given that many believed he wouldn't even make it to graduation. He was funny, outgoing, and even on his worst days, when you could sense his pain, he would go out of his way to make everyone around him smile. As his body started failing him, but before he was fully in the wheelchair, he started asking us if we could help walk him to the cafeteria table since there were stairs and it was quicker than taking the ramps. I didn't hesitate even for a minute to help him. I would take his arm around my shoulder and walk him down the stairs. Then one day, instead of just grabbing onto my upper arm to support himself, he reached down lower and cupped my breast under my jacket, and I let him. I didn't say a single word, and I helped him find a seat, acting like nothing happened. It happened a few more times after that, and I just let him every single time. Do I regret it? Not really. Do I regret not speaking up? Nah. Sometimes I start feeling weird about it, but I honestly hope that it gave him comfort because in the end, he never did make it to graduation. Down in the comments, people are talking about Make-A-Wish, and Not a Fan of Olive says this. In my office building, our regional chapter of Make-A-Wish is right down the hall. Some of their employees showed up at the building Christmas party. Of course, my stupid self had to ask one of them, "Has anyone ever asked to motorboat Elvira as a dying wish?" And the person said, we don't take those requests. Okay, yeah, probably not something I should have asked at work. On that note, there is an organization in Japan called White Hands, and it truly does exist. I just looked it up. There's a Vice documentary about it, and basically they are adult workers who give manual relief to disabled patients. My family ate all the KFC that I ordered. It all started from a raging period craving. I specifically wanted to eat KFC. I remember almost tasting the oil, craving it. I don't even like it normally. I ordered it and told my sister to wait for the delivery guy because I had just taken some powerful prescribed painkillers for my period pain. I have endometriosis, so my period is agonizingly painful every single time. The painkillers left me drowsy, and I slept for a good 3 hours. I came downstairs expecting cold KFC. I could already imagine it. Instead, what I got were boxes filled with bones and half-empty sauce packets. The ultimate betrayal. I'm shocked beyond words. Mind you, I ordered enough for the whole family. I'm not some narcissist who ordered food only for myself. I ordered enough for everyone, and they still ate my share. I'm in pain, I'm hungry, and I'm hurt by their betrayal. I just can't wrap my head around how they have no decency to leave me some food. I would have been content with just half-eaten fried chicken at least, but all they left me is sucked chicken bones. My sister saw me becoming visibly angry and rushed to calm me down. I just told her to wear a bra, and off we go to the nearest KFC store. I drove slow, quiet the whole way. When we arrived, I ordered my sister to get out and get me the same amount of food from before. I stayed in the car, cramping uterus still ongoing. I arrived home and invited my family to eat KFC with me. Nobody touched anything as I ate. One piece of chicken is all it took to satisfy my craving. The leftover chicken was still hot. I left it there in the living room and then went to sleep. I didn't shout or get mad, but the guilt and awkwardness worked as they apologized one by one. Some transgressions justify murder. This, I think, might be one of them. Our next Reddit post is from Feisty Review. As soon as I turned 18, my mother kicked me out on the streets. She decided that it was time for me to experience the realities of the world and to struggle like she did. So there I was, homeless with $400 to my name, trying to figure it out. I couch surfed at some friends until I got a job at a fast food outlet and eventually rented a room in a shared flat. I was always very academic in school, so I decided to apply for university and take out a loan. Strangely, I kept in touch with my mom, and she used to get angry whenever I told her about my plans for further study. I will never forget the time she emailed me at 3 a.m. to tell me that the open day I was going to was useless because university is full of rich people who I'll never fit in with. Eventually, I stopped telling her about my life. Long story short, I ended up going to university where I met my now partner. At the time, I didn't know they were wealthy because they didn't act snobbish or entitled. They lived a pretty average university life, sharing a house with friends and shopping at discounted supermarkets. It wasn't until years later, when we were about to be married, that I found out about the wealth they were acquiring. I never told my mother about my marriage or my partner's wealth. My mom passed away a couple of years ago, thinking that I was some brainwashed liberal with a useless degree. She also had a degree and worked in finance, by the way. What she never realized was that by going to university, I enabled myself to build a life worth living. And for those wondering, no, I'm not some stay-at-home wife drinking matcha and doing Pilates. I now have a PhD and work full-time at my country's public health department. I'm so grateful for the life that I built myself. I love my partner, and we have a wonderful relationship. That was r/off my chest, and if you like this content, check out my podcast where I publish the exact same episodes. Also, hit that subscribe button because I put out new Reddit episodes every single day.
Wow.
Welcome to r/Am I the Butthole, where OP's husband decides to buy a house with his mom instead of with his wife. Am I the butthole for calling off my wedding after my fiance bought a house with his mom? Okay, so I'm a 28-year-old woman and my fiance is 30. We've been together for 5 years. We were planning our wedding for this fall and had been talking for years about our future, like kids, finances, and buying a house together. We had a whole plan to save up, find something we both loved, and make it our home. This was talked about a lot. Welp, turns out he already bought a house. But not with me, with his mom.
What the fuck?
He didn't even tell me he was looking. Apparently, his mom found the perfect place and convinced him to split it with her because she didn't want to rent anymore. So now, instead of us planning our future together, he's financially tied to his mother, who's going to be living there full time. I just stared at him like, what the hell? And then I asked where I fit into all this, and he goes, oh, well, you can move in too, of course. Like I'm supposed to be thrilled to live in a house his mom picked out, partially owns, and is just there all the time. He also admitted that he did it because I was taking too long to save, and his mom offered a faster way to own something.
What the
I was
fuck?
shocked and pissed. I told him I needed space. And the more I thought about it, the more I realized I can't marry someone who thinks this is normal. So I called off the wedding. And now his whole family is blowing up my phone saying I'm being dramatic, that it's just a house, and that I'm overreacting because we can still live together. Even my own parents are saying canceling the whole wedding is extreme. Like, am I losing my mind? Am I the butthole, or is this a giant red flag?
That is
He purposefully hid his intentions from you. He made a huge financial purchase without even consulting you. And he expects you to just live with his mom, I guess forever until she dies for the next 30, 40 years. These are not the actions of someone who loves and cares about you. These are the actions of someone who's trying to trap you into being a caregiver for his mom. Am I the butthole for kicking my sister out of my house for telling my husband he's so lucky to be rich? My husband lost both of his parents when he was 17. Their deaths were preventable, and others died alongside them, and because of this, a lawsuit followed. And at a young age, my husband found himself orphaned, but wealthy. But I think we can all understand that his money wasn't some great thing that he celebrated, because it came at a huge loss for him. His parents. We met a few years after he was awarded the money, and we got married after dating for 4 years. We're now the proud parents to our 3 kids, and we have a stable life. We're very comfortable, and few know exactly how much my husband actually has. He's very smart with his money, and not only invests, but looks to our future and the future of each of our children. We both still work very hard, but the money means that we're also very fortunate. My family, my parents and my sister, is aware that my husband's parents are dead. They also know about the lawsuit and that the money was paid to the family members. They have no idea how much my husband has. Not my parents, and definitely not my sister. But they do know that my husband said that he would give all the money away to have his parents back. Which is why I reacted strongly when my sister made the comment that she did. We had my family over for dinner. My sister mentioned wanting to bring her boyfriend for any future dinners, and everyone was talking about that. Then, my sister mentioned wanting to go away with her boyfriend for the weekend and how they were saving up to go. She said that it was a big step because they were also talking about moving in with each other. My husband mentioned that we had gone to the place they were talking about going to and that they would have a great time. My sister said she hoped so, but she wouldn't have the same kind of money that he does. My husband told her that we did nothing fancy there, which is 100% true. My parents wanted to know when they were thinking of moving in together. Things were going fine. Then my sister, out of nowhere, said to my husband the least he could do was offer them money for the weekend away since he could afford it. I shut her down and said that she wasn't entitled to other people paying for her trips with her boyfriend. My sister responded that he could afford to send them for a month if he wanted to. My husband told her that was a big ask, and she snapped at him and said that he had no idea how lucky he was to be rich because she'd give anything to have that kind of money. The insensitivity of that comment enraged me, and I told my sister she needed to leave. I made sure to get her butt out that door too because I wasn't tolerating that BS.
Hell
My sister
no.
has told me almost every day since that I overreacted and throwing her out was over the top.
Overreacted, you bitch.
But a sincere apology
The fuck?
from her to my husband, and until that point, she can stay out of my house.
Oh, I'm sorry your parents are dead. Give me their money. The fuck? What the fuck you mean? You bitch? You whore? What the fuck? Bro lost his parents as a fucking child. The money is not that important to him, obviously. But that's no reason to be like, oh, well, you have it, so you have to give it to me because, like, you're married into the family or some shit. Huh?
My husband said I didn't need to stand by that and that he didn't want to come between us. I told him that he wasn't coming between us. She was. Am I the butthole for my actions? And am I being too harsh here? I just think that comment is downright cruel and vicious when you consider my husband had to be orphaned to get that money. Your sister is incredibly heartless for saying that. Also, super entitled for implying that she wanted a month's worth of money to go to a vacation. But also, the thing that I kind of have to point out here is she's also insulting her own parents. She said that she would do anything to get that kind of money, when we know that OP's husband got his money from his parents dying, implying that she would be okay with her parents dying to get that kind of money, which she said in front of her parents. So somehow she managed to insult every single person who was present at that dinner party. OP, I'm giving you 0 out of 5 buttholes. I'm giving your sister 2 out of 5 buttholes. Am I the butthole for angrily telling a person, I'm sorry I was born this way, after she said that my hair was cultural appropriation? I'm a 19-year-old female. I'm also a Caucasian person, which is relevant, I think. I also have a natural fro, think Jufro or something. I'm not exaggerating when I refer to it as a fro. It's a big, round puffball of curls from my head. I have a friend group. Almost all of us knew each other in high school. I'm not sure exactly how relevant this detail is, but almost everyone in the group is a person of color. We get together every once in a while, and the last time we met up, the topic of cultural appropriation came up. Topics like this are not unusual for us, as we sometimes talk about political or societal topics. We all have the same left-wing beliefs, so it's easy for us to talk about these things. In the discussion about cultural appropriation, fros came up. Afros, more specifically. I didn't really think much of it for a while, as it makes sense to me that someone mimicking the hairstyle of people of color would be offensive. I didn't really contribute to the conversation except for nodding along, as I agree with what they say, but I can't really add to it as I'm white. At some point in the conversation, I started to feel like people were looking at me. Not like conversational looks, but kind of like looking me up and down before glancing away and repeating. I brushed this off, as I've had issues with social anxiety when I was little, so most of the time when I feel insecure, I figure it's just my anxiety bursting through my medication to bite me in the butt. However, after a few minutes of feeling this way, one friend commented how weird it was that I have my hair in a fro despite being white. All of my friends are well aware that my hair is completely natural, so I don't do anything to get it this way, so I was taken aback. A few other people chimed in saying stuff like I should straighten it and that I was adding to racial tension and making people see me and think it's okay to appropriate froze.
No. Okay, I mixed it up. I gotta restart the mix it up. Hold on. Hold on. I got you, Markin. Hold on. I won't let you down, baby girl. Let me fix it. Let me fix the eye. I would have laughed, except for the sounds redeems are not tied to Mix It Up, besides the text ones. Okay. Let's redeem. There it is. Here we go. Also, apparently Home Depot has a policy that if you come in crying and you're trying to buy rope, they won't sell it to you.
Snapped and said, I'm sorry I was born this way. I was using a loud tone, which I'm not very proud of, as I myself am very adverse to anything that resembles yelling. Some of my friends looked disappointed, while others looked kind of disgusted, and they all just kind of left after that. This is a really dumb argument.
Shut the fuck up, Markin. I feel like if you did that at Walmart, the Walmart employee would be like, bro, how much is it? I'll buy it with you.
Black people aren't the only people allowed to have curly hair.
Yeah, it does run deep.
OP herself calls her hair a Jufro, which kind of automatically.
I say the trauma runs deep, but I'm sitting here trying to fucking get back into it because at the very least it'll pay $14 starting. So I won't be the almost $16 I was when I left last year in like November. But $14 will make ends meet. So Hi, Colbury. I am definitely not chewing on plastic right now. If you hear me chewing on plastic, no, you don't. Interesting. Yeah, there's no plastic here. Somehow I don't believe that. You know, everybody has like their thing. Zion eats socks. Hex Chew likes onions. That's the only two I can think of off the top of my head. Is plastic gonna become my thing? That would have still been funny. That would have been really funny if I was still a C-tuber and plastic was the thing that I ate. That would have been really fucking morbidly funny in like a really fucked up way. No, I'm just a fox. I'm just a little fox. I eat plastic, which is still fucked up, honestly. It's not even a straw. You know the little plastic ring on like water bottles and soda bottles and stuff that's underneath the cap? I pull that off and I chew on it. It's like one of my favorite things to chew on. God, I should have been a fucking dog VTuber at this rate. I just like chewing on shit. Not the soda rings. They're the best, dude. They have the best chewable consistency.
Automatically means that there's an entirely separate ethnic group that also has curly hair. OP, you get 0 out of 5 buttholes. I'm giving your dumb friends 1 out of 5 buttholes. Am I the butthole for never telling my mother that I married into money? I'm a 34-year-old woman, and I have a...
Without ripping them off.
...with my mother.
Yes, consistency. Okay, so there are... Don't spray me. No, don't spray me. Okay, Cora. God damn, how long is this fucking water bottle? Okay, there it goes. I didn't think it was gonna end. My cat came to check on me because I made weird sounds. I am gonna drown, dude. I need to turn down how long that sits up there for. What the fuck? Why was that tagged on for so long? The fuck? Hold on. It's at 30 seconds. I guess 30 seconds is too long for it. We'll do 15. Fucking drenched. Okay, but listen. So there's the good plastic that's like a really nice chewy consistency and it kind of stays together. There's the hard plastic that really hurts your teeth after a while because it just doesn't want, you can't really chew it properly. And then there's the shitty plastic where when you chew it, it starts coming out off in like little pieces. So you just get a bunch of little plastic shreds in your mouth. Those are the worst kind. I fucking hate those kind. I'll chew it for a bit, and then once it starts falling apart, I spit it out because I hate when it falls apart. But the rings are usually not like that. They're usually like the perfect consistency. And then the Gatorade bottle rings, those are like so fun. They hurt, but they're so fun because they have all the little spikes, and I like taking the spikes and using my teeth to turn them all the other way, and then just playing around with the spikes. You're the reason my job exists. A dentist? Huh? Hello, Mr. Dentist. One of your new favorite streamers is your like worst dental nightmare. Because she chews on plastic. It hits, man. You gotta try it sometime. Did you typing it in caps make that louder? What the fuck? Why was that so loud?
Huh?
Huh? I think it does.
Huh?
No, it doesn't. Okay. It just sounded really loud for some reason. Hey, yo.
What the dog doing?
When she was 17 and
so
was
loud.
addicted to various substances when I was growing up.
What the
She
dog
would leave me
doing?
with whoever would watch me for days on end, and I'd end up mostly raising myself. I left home at 16 and couch surfed with various friends until I was able to get my own place. At 25, I met my now husband, and we got married 3 years later. His family is the polar opposite of mine and are incredible, so loving and warm. I honestly consider his parents mine and call them mom and dad. They also happen to be quite well off, but that isn't something I care about. I mention it because it matters to the story. Last year, my mother reached out to me after a decade of not speaking to her, wanting to reconnect and introduce me to my little sister.
What am I
age 2.
hearing?
I was confused, as
That
I
is a
hadn't
good
even known
question.
she'd been pregnant, but it seems she'd been a change of life baby. I thought maybe she had turned over a new leaf, and if not, I wanted to make sure the kid was okay. At first, it seemed like things had changed and she was trying. This illusion lasted for the first few visits over 6 months. Then she broke down, told me she couldn't do this, and asked me to take my sister. My husband and I had a long talk about it. We'd been struggling with fertility and had been considering adoption anyways. We told her if we were doing this, we were doing it right, and we had his family's lawyer ensure that it was a legal adoption and airtight, which took several months. My in-laws adore her and consider her their granddaughter. They've even set up a trust fund for her. We've
Aww.
allowed my mother one supervised visit per month, so she's not totally cut off from my sister. But it was during these visits, things went badly, as my mother saw how she was dressed and the toys she had, and realized they were expensive. She began to rip into us for hiding the fact that we have money, and how if we had just given her money, she'd have not given us my sister, as she could have taken care of her better. I told her that while we have some money, it's mostly my husband's parents' money, not ours. So she had no right to know about it. Also, that I wouldn't have given her money anyways, as I didn't trust her. She broke down.
Hi, Rose. You think I have a YouTube video left open somewhere? No, we go between. Hi, Rose. We go between listening to Reddit stories and music when it comes to like art streams and Live2D streams. I'm burnt out on music since I deliver pizza all the time. So I'm like listening to music all the time, and we're usually jamming out at work. I'm musically burnt right now, so I have to have like Reddit stories, honestly. I need talking. I need story time. So and I've got like Womp womp your face. Why wouldn't you be jamming out at work? Listen, it's only two of us for like basically the entire day, besides customers occasionally coming to pick up pizzas. So we're just like jamming out some music, you know? My organs fade, not my face. I mean, it is about working, but like, we're not gonna work in dead silence, you know? The music helps keep the motivation going. Eventually, I'm gonna like have to get somebody to clip every time I fucking short circuit and just make a compilation of my short circuits. You jamming out while you pull teeth? you hit the really hard like part of a metal song, and you just, okay, 1, 2, yank. Like as you like bring your head down, you just yank the tooth out. That's metal. That comes out at the drop. Exactly. That's how you psych them up for it. You get the let's go, yank. It's like, look, it's over with. Your tooth's gone. What the fuck? What do you mean there's lightning nearby? Is it storming? Or is it gonna storm? The fuck? Oh shit, we got some rain coming in. Damn. It's slowly forming. I hate rain. Oh, we're gonna cool down for a few days. We're gonna go down to like high 70s. And then we get it's fucking 90 degrees, dude. I'm gonna kill myself.
Calling me a selfish B-word who never considered how hard things were for her. I now feel some guilt. My husband has told me that if I want to make myself feel better, he'll give her money. But that seems like a bad idea, as she'd likely use it badly or blow through it and then expect more.
You don't know Fahrenheit. Okay, hold on. Let's see. So we'll be in, let's see, we'll be about 26 degrees or 26 Celsius around like between that and like 30 Celsius for the next few days. And then after that, after our little cold front comes through, we'll be like, it says like 32. Okay, yeah, so we're right now it is what is the temperature right now? It is 73 out right now. So it's 22 Celsius right now. And so then in like a few days it's saying we're going to be like 92 degrees, so that'll be 33 Celsius. Yeah. Yeah. I'm always dying. I melt. I'm always melting, dude. It sucks. I'm being burned alive. It's going to be in the hundreds next week. Oh, Mark, and I'm so sorry. No, we're gonna get the humidity with this heat. As soon as you get to double digits in Celsius, you reach your limit. Yeah, like, hold on. Let me look at the humidity right now. We're at 88% humidity. Freedom land. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, freedom. Freedom. Ah! Ah, ah! Freedom quotations mark. It was in fact not freedom. No, it was not. Freedom was the friends we made along the way. You don't live in tariff land. You're so right. You're so right. Oh, why did I solo that? I want that to stay on solo. Tariff land. Have you guys seen people wanting to buy, you know, like VTuber merch, but they can't because the tariffs are costing like $200, $300, $400 on top of the fucking items themselves, and it's being called the duties tax or whatever. Like, American VTuber fans can't fucking buy shit right now. 6 inches of rain last year total. Damn. That's crazy. I get so much rain, dude. We've been getting fucking blasted with rain a lot lately, honestly. Yeah. And I'm so mad about that because it also hurts like independent like merchandise creators too. Ooh, ewy sandstorms. A gamer subs instead of 140 pounds. Holy shit, dude. That's fucking crazy. What the fuck? Gamer subs, more like gamer sucks. Am I right? Honk. Oh, that's euro, not pounds. Don't give me that look. I'm American. We're stupid. We're I do have my Redbubble up. I still have the Easter thingy up on my Redbubble. I just don't. I need to add the link to my card. So you know what? We're gonna add that link to my card before I forget it. don't like that. Oh, what the fuck? A curved E with an extra line. Trello, Blue Sky, Twitch, Coffee, TikTok. Okay, I need to add on another one. This will be double. I'm laughing. Thanks for the play-by-play, Markin. Okay. I was laughing at the getting the French ads. I'm back with an ad for Twitch Turbo. It's trying to get you. Okay. I don't even know. Hold on. Okay, yeah. Bezos wants that booty. Hey, Jay. Bezos does want the booty. But Bezos doesn't get the booty. Okay. So now it should show up on my card. Yeah. Yippee. Okay. And then, do I have card? Make sure to use your Twitch primes so you steal money from Bezos himself. Girl, hello. Oh my God. Everybody stopping by. Ah! Why am I being I'm being waterboarded right now? Why? I'm not a cat. Oh, hi, Summon. Everybody came in and immediately started fucking bullying me, dude. What the fuck? What is going on? I looked a little dehydrated. It's faked. I'm not a child. Ah! Jesus. I'm running out of water, y'all. What the fuck? Stop spraying me! Not the burnt nuggets. Not the burnt nuggets. A sticker was saying something different. I'm being tortured right now. Oh my God. What the fuck is going on? I was going to do something, but I can't remember what I was going to do. Hello? Hi, Rose. Yeah, there's certain words that you can use now that have sounds attached to them, and yip is one of them. I didn't do anything. I did nothing to deserve this. I'm just simply existing. I was flourishing, and suddenly I'm being abused. Oh no. Thanks. Oh, that would. I was going to check if I had the card as one of my commands. Hold on. I don't deserve it. What do you mean I deserve it? What do you mean by that? I've done nothing wrong. Thank you for the head pats after y'all abused me. Get eggs. Why? Okay, where's the fuck? Oh, there it is. Save. Okay. They're gotta balance out somehow. Okay, so now if you guys do that, yeah, it'll give you my link to my card, which is easier than having a bunch of different links, because it'll literally just give you, because I've got my VGen and YouTube and shit attached to that. Oh. Why are you rubbing eggs into my fur? That's not good for my fur. You gotta add the exclamation, Rose, or it won't count it. Why? Oh, are you cleaning me? Thank you. Thank you. Hello, chat. What? It suddenly got so chaotic. I was... You weren't cleaning me? Oh, why am I stinky? I thought you were helping wash the egg out of my fur. Are you, like, helping...
We're no strangers to love. You know the rules, and so do I.
What the fuck? I'm gonna have to clip this entire fucking sequence, because it just kept going. It kept going. I spent my first hour... Oh... Why just throwing fucking water on the stream? I spent my first hour listening to r/, working on rigging, and then wha-bam! Everybody starts showing up and bullying me. What did I do to deserve this, huh? What did I do? I have done nothing wrong today to deserve any of this treatment that I have received. It's because I smell. I'm not stinky. I showered this morning. I cleaned. I even shaved. Get loved, Faye. I'm not a cat. Oh my god. Justice for June! Yeah, justice for June! That's right, you heard it here. Justice for June! At this point, I don't know if I'm even gonna be able to put this fucking r/ back on. Let's turn on some Pokemon music at the very least. Damn, Faye, that wasn't me. I didn't do it. That wasn't me. That was you, Rose. I heard it all the way from here. 5 hours away. Shit traveled at the speed of sound. That's because you put it there. That's not my fault. Yeah. Stinky. Oh, shit. Yeah, you're good. Have a good night, Jay. Rest well. I'm not a cat. No! I'm a fox! Fox! I yip! I bark! I hatty ho! No! This is my little fox form. I'm trapped as a tiny fox. Zion dropped you off to like the insanity camp yesterday. It's your fault you came back. Stinky. Stinky Rose. You're stinky. You're stinkiest. Uno reverse on you. Stinky. I think that's a good enough wiggle there. Okay. Well, I think chat has finally calmed down on the abuse. Are y'all ready to go back to listening to some Reddit stories? I'm gonna have to probably restart this one. What was what? You're not calm? Never calm. Forever. Forever. Ah! Why? Hold on. It does not want to register. Ow. I shook my head a little too hard. It did not want to register. Does not want to register it. Does not want to register me shaking my head really hard. Yes. Shaken face syndrome. For real. Okay. But yeah, we'll go ahead and restart this video because it's been a minute. Not the video, but we're gonna restart this one specifically.
Am I the butthole for never telling my mother that I married into money? I'm a 34-year-old woman, and I have a difficult relationship with my mother. She had me when she was 17 and was addicted to various substances when I was growing up. She would leave me with whoever would watch me for days on end, and I'd end up mostly raising myself. I left home at 16 and couch surfed with various friends until I was able to get my own place. At 25, I met my now husband, and we got married 3 years later. His family is the polar opposite of mine and are incredible, so loving and warm. I honestly consider his parents mine and call them mom and dad. They also happen to be quite well off, but that isn't something I care about. I mention it because it matters to the story. Last year, my mother reached out to me after a decade of not speaking to her, wanting to reconnect and introduce me to my little sister, who's 2. I was confused, as I hadn't even known she'd been pregnant, but it seems she'd been a change of life baby. I thought maybe she had turned over a new leaf, and if not, I wanted to make sure the kid was okay. At first, it seemed like things had changed and she was trying. This illusion lasted for the first few visits over 6 months. Then she broke down, told me she couldn't do this, and asked me to take my sister. My husband and I had a long talk about it. We'd been struggling with fertility and had been considering adoption anyways. We told her if we were doing this, we were doing it right, and we had his family's lawyer ensure that it was a legal adoption and airtight, which took several months. My in-laws adore her and consider her their granddaughter. They've even set up a trust fund for her. We've allowed my mother one supervised visit per month, so she's not totally cut off from my sister. But it was during these visits, things went badly, as my mother saw how she was dressed and the toys she had, and realized they were expensive. She began to rip into us for hiding the fact that we have money, and how if we had just given her money, she'd have not given us my sister, as she could have taken care of her better. I told her that while we have some money, it's mostly my husband's parents' money, not ours. So she had no right to know about it. Also, that I wouldn't have given her money anyways, as I didn't trust her. She broke down, calling me a selfish B-word who never considered how hard things were for her. I now feel some guilt. My husband has told me that if I want to make myself feel better, he'll give her money. But that seems like a bad idea, as she'd likely use it badly or blow through it and then expect more. Despite this, though, I do feel bad. Maybe I should have tried to help her more now that my luck is better, or maybe I should have been honest with her. Am I the butthole for keeping this from her?
No.
Your mom, if you can even call her that, literally abandoned you. So
Yeah.
she doesn't deserve your time or your sympathy. OP, I'm giving you 0
No.
out of 5 buttholes. I'm giving your deadbeat mom 4 out of 5 buttholes. Am I the butthole for embarrassing my stepmom at dinner after she tried to teach me a lesson about my real mom? I'm an 18-year-old girl, and I live with my dad and my stepmom, who's 43. My mom passed away when I was 10, and it's still a sensitive subject for me. My stepmom came into the picture a couple of years later, and while we're civil, we're definitely not close. She's always had this weird vibe, like she's trying to compete with my mom, even though my mom isn't here. She gets snippy when I talk about her or wear anything that belonged to her, like my mom's old necklace that I wear basically every day. Anyways, a few nights ago, we were out for dinner with my dad, stepmom, and my stepmom's parents. My stepmother's mother asked about the necklace, and I said it was my mom's. She gave it to me before she passed.
Oh, what the fuck?
I wear it every day. My stepmom immediately cut in with, Well, technically, I'm your mom now. I've
Bitch!
done more mothering in the last 8 years than she did in 10. I swear.
She's
The whole
dead!
table went silent. I just laughed and said, if you think being a mom is about trying to erase the actual one, then yeah, you've been amazing. She looked like she looked like she'd been slapped. Her mom gasped. My dad told me to apologize.
No,
but I
fuck
refused.
that
I said
shit.
that I was tired of her acting like my mom never existed, and I wasn't going to play along anymore. Now my stepmom is barely speaking to me.
Oh,
And my dad
boo-hoo.
says I need to be the bigger person because she's just trying to connect.
No.
To me, that didn't feel like connection. That felt like erasure. Yo, why does the 18-year-old girl have to be the bigger person?
Exactly.
And not the 43-year-old woman? As
Dead
bad as your
ass.
stepmom's behavior is here, the real villain of this story is your dad for allowing this behavior. He's your father. It's his responsibility to protect you, even from your stepmom. OP, you get 0 out of 5 buttholes. I'm giving your dad 2 out of 5 buttholes, and your stepmom 1.5 out of 5 buttholes. Am I the
Bro,
butthole
what
for
the
refusing to help my
fuck?
best friend with her wedding because she didn't make me a bridesmaid? Me and my best friend are 24-year-old women. I'll call her May. We've been close since middle school. We've talked about being in each other's weddings, so when she got engaged last year, I assumed that I'd be a bridesmaid. She recently asked me to help with the wedding planning, but when she showed me the list for her bridal party, I wasn't on the list. I asked why, and she got awkward and said she had to make some choices. The party included her sister, her fiance's sister, and a few newer friends she's known for a couple of years. She wanted a small party. I didn't want to make a big deal though. I congratulated her and I figured that I'd still be a guest. But then she started asking me for a lot of help. Things like dress shopping, DIY decorations, venue hunting, making party favors, etc. I finally told her, hey, I love you, but I feel weird doing all this when I'm not even a bridesmaid. She got angry and said that she thought that I'd still want to be involved because we're best friends. I told her I'd still be at the wedding, but I wasn't going to do all this extra work when she didn't even consider me close enough to be at her bridal party. Now,
Yeah.
she and some of our mutual friends are giving me the cold shoulder, saying that I'm being petty and making the wedding about me. But I'm not going to
No.
be doing bridesmaid level work when I'm not one. Am I the butthole?
Nah.
Sounds like she just wants free labor. OP, you get 0 out of 5 buttholes. I'm giving the bride 1 out of 5 buttholes. That was r/Am I the Butthole, and if you like this content, check out my podcast where I publish the exact same episodes. Also, hit that subscribe button because I put out new Reddit videos every single day.
Fuck that bitch.
Welcome to r/Pro Revenge, where we have a very sexy and very, very naughty librarian. Our next Reddit post is
What
from
the
Avatar.
fuck?
I
R
got a job
slash.
at the local library in the summer of 2016. I got this job by the grace of some benevolent god, and in part because I have a friend from college who worked in the Maker Lab that could vouch for my character. After a brief training period in the main library, I arrived for my first real day
Not
with
the
a
eyes,
box of donuts
Colby.
for my coworkers in hand and a smile on my face at 6 in the morning. Unfortunately, my manager did not arrive on time. Enter the children's librarian, who did show up early to set up for story time and let me inside. Enter our antagonist,
Oh
who I will
no.
refer to as my least favorite character from Friends, Monica. Monica did not like me from the start. This is in part due to circumstances beyond my control, which I found out about after the fact. One of her friends had applied to shelve at the library, but didn't get the position because Monica's vouching didn't carry as much weight as my friend's, as well as the fact that I was better qualified. She also didn't like me because, and I cannot make this up, I brought donuts. See, she worked 2 jobs. One as a barista at the coffee shop and bakery across the parking lot, along with her job as a circulation assistant at the library. She was reportedly quite unhappy with my decision to bring donuts from a competing breakfast chain while everyone else passed on her bagels. Side note, who even likes bagels? Really? Eventually, I processed the library card incorrectly. There was a patron who came in, and through a series of wacky circumstances involving a former security action
Hold
on him
on.
and a very generic milquetoast name, I mixed up some library accounts, put a new card on the wrong account, and then had to start a new application with a new card. All told, I spent half an hour getting this guy a card. And then I had to go on my break immediately because I was 20 minutes from leaving and needed to get my 15 minutes in before I left. In the rush, I left the dead library card on the counter. When I went back, it was gone.
The
I
fuck?
panicked. I looked everywhere for it in the 10 minutes before I had to leave to go to class. I couldn't find it, and when I left, I was so consumed with anxiety about wondering where it went that I neglected to tell anyone what had happened. A big, big mistake. But anxiety is a hell of a drug. When I came into work a couple of days later, I found out through an email that it had been discovered. It had been slotted back in with the other new unassigned library cards. I knew for damn sure that of all the places I could have put it, it wouldn't have been there. I realized the person working at that computer when I had come back off my break was Monica. How does this translate into getting my manager fired? Well, I had been the first and only assistant he had trained, since we hired our other assistant internally. And this was a big deal, so my screw-up was a mark on his record as well as mine. Around this time, I was promoted at the college writing center, making better pay, so I decided to cut my losses and leave. Apparently, they fired my boss at the library not long after, and he was forced to uproot his family. He had already moved so he could work at this job,
Oh,
and he had
shit.
to move to another state. Part of that was my screw-up, I'll admit to that, but the majority of it was because it looked like I had hidden the card after the fact. Fast forward 2 years, I'm scrolling through Twitter, and I noticed none other than Monica has been viewing my Twitter posts. I scrolled through her account and noticed some very interesting things. You see, the Twitter account she had used to spy on my Twitter was a not safe for work BDSM account. What a surprise! I saw much, much more of Monica that day than I frankly ever wanted to see. But then I looked closer at some of the pictures, and despite wanting to use bleach for eye drops, I screen capped a couple and saved them on my laptop before going back to work. Later that day, I sent Monica a message through Facebook. To be honest, I wanted to know how she found me on Twitter. At that time, I wasn't using my real name, and I was posting a lot of incendiary things about the government. The kind of things you want to stay anonymous for. In short, I was surprised she had tracked me down, and I needed to figure out where the leak was. When I approached her about it, she got nasty with me. She told me nobody cared about what I was writing and that I shouldn't talk trash about her work family, and that I had only left the library because I couldn't hack it, and then she blocked me. So, I was pissed. Alright, it's on. The pictures of her that I saved, those were taken at the library. See, since we're a rather large branch, we have some pretty recognizable features in the library for anyone who's ever worked there, or even walked inside. She had taken some pictures of herself topless in the back cubicles. There was one picture of herself in her underwear in the stacks, evident by the carpeting pattern. And most damning, a picture of her flashing her butt with the children's section windows in the background. I gathered all these pictures up, wrote an email as a concerned anonymous patron to the HR department from a burner email, sent it, sat back, and waited. The effects were pretty immediate and started toppling like dominoes. Monica was fired in a record 2 days, and my friend in the Maker Lab told me she was escorted from the building. None of the other workers knew why, but word spread through other branches because they had to bring people in to staff her position, which meant a rotating cast of faces coming in and wondering why she'd been fired so immediately. Usually, even in firing people, the library would give people 2 weeks so the position could be filled. Eventually, someone subbing in must have had a contact in HR, because that's when I started getting messages from literally everyone I ever worked with all the time asking, "Did you know Monica was making adult content inside the library?" As it just so happened, The new manager of the children's section and the owner of the coffee shop across the street went to the same church. So the new manager at the library found the coffee shop owner after service and told him about why Monica had been fired from the library. Apparently, there had been a couple of incidences at her other job where she had disappeared into the walk-in with her phone, and some of the employees thought they saw her in compromising positions, but were never sure, so they could never take action on it. After being told about why she'd been fired from the library and that she had been exposing herself again in the children's section where his grandkids play and pick out their books, he also fired her. But wait, there's more. Monica had also been doing well enough at the library and the coffee shop that she'd finally bought herself a car. Great news, except that once she lost both her jobs, she couldn't afford the payments. Trying to get a new job was also difficult, given that her past employers weren't shy about giving her bad references and explaining why she was fired. So, her car got repossessed after she missed too many payments. She had also just applied to the college where I was working, so she couldn't get an English undergrad, then a master's in library sciences. She ended up having to withdraw since her scholarship was revoked after she was fired, and she no longer had a reliable way to get to campus. No job, no car, kicked out of college before she even took her first class. Could Monica's life get any worse? Oh, it could. Turns out, her boyfriend wasn't aware that Monica was taking pictures and posting nudes of herself on the internet. When he found out from one of her former coworkers at the library why she'd been fired, turns out she'd lied to him about it. The two of them broke up, and guess where she'd been living? So, she ended up moving back in with her mom, who I'm sure was really curious about why her daughter had been having such a streak of bad luck. Sorry, Monica. Looks like no one told you your life was gonna be this way. Down in the comments, there's almost an even split between people saying, hey, this was a great story of revenge, and hey, post Monica's Twitter account. I guess people really do have a thing for naughty librarians. Our next Reddit post is from Preston.
Jesus Christ,
this past
dude.
Christmas, my missus and I purchased one of our 9-year-old son's Santa gifts from a certain UK sports retail company that also has many stores here in Ireland as well. It was a football rebounder, kinda like a trampoline that you kick the ball at and it bounces back to you. Anyways, we purchased it from their Irish website and thought nothing more of it. A few days go by, and we get a notification from UPS that there are custom charges due on something. And
Oh,
as you can
shit.
imagine, we bought many things for the kids, so we had to double check what we'd ordered, and we didn't have anything left that was being imported, so we naturally assumed that it was a scam. So I told my wife to call the company and find out who shipped it, and it was a different courier company based in the UK. After a bit of digging and investigating, it turns out that it's our rebounder. They had shipped it from the UK via a local carrier to the UPS to deliver to us. Now, my wife and I are both on disability, so an additional charge of almost 50 euros when you're both already on a fixed income is harsh, especially at Christmas. So I told her I'd pay it and I'd deal with the retailer. The first day I called, I had to call 3 times, being stuck on hold for at least 20 minutes each time. But I was patient and
Her life really went upside down. But honestly, like, I mean, get that bag, you know? I'm not gonna say, like, don't do it, because if that's how you're getting your bag, get your bag, but don't do it in a public space where people will recognize it, and especially a public space where there will be children or has been children, because that just makes you look bad, you know, like a not safe person.
polite because I've worked in a call center before, so I knew these people were only doing their job. But I asked to speak to a manager and was promised a call back each time, but that never happened. The second day was quite similar. The third day, I was starting to get annoyed, so I called back, waiting even longer on hold. And finally, I wasn't taking this from anyone. I told the rep that all I wanted was my...
I got you. Paused it. Jesus. I am gassy tonight. All right, y'all back from the ad? Let's continue.
50 euros back because our consumer rights in Ireland dictate that a person must be informed of any additional charges on a purchase, at the very latest by the final checkout screen. And in this case, there was nothing to show that, and I could easily replicate the issue by putting the same item in my basket and going all the way to the checkout screen again. And there was nothing saying that we'd have to pay import charges. The
Have a good
representative
night,
was indifferent
Rose.
to the situation, but tried to help, and what he
Night
said
night.
sent me over the edge. He offered me a measly 20 euro gift voucher to use on their website. But more importantly, he started to read a statement to me. He said, "We advise our customers that there may be DDU charges, delivery duty unpaid, i.e. customs charges on any item that gets shipped outside the UK." When I asked him where
Yeah.
it states this information, he paused, and then he said, "Actually,
I'm actually
I don't
eating
know."
some
I
Reese's.
said, "Well, I know one thing. It doesn't say it anywhere on this transaction because I've checked, and because this is a violation of my consumer rights, I'm going to give your company one last chance to make this right. Have your manager call me within the next 60 minutes, or I'm going to post this entire debacle on LinkedIn and link to the senior officer in your company." Then I hung up the phone and waited. Yet again, no call. The next day, I went on LinkedIn and followed through on my promise.
You play Mahjong? I fucking love Mahjong, dude.
I created a post detailing what they had done by sticking us with hidden charges, and that they were ignoring our request for a manager, and everything they said and did. Then I tagged every senior officer at that company, from the regional managers, from the European directors, all the way to the CEO, and I shamed them for how they operate their company. This, ladies and gentlemen, was now an act of war. Shortly after I posted that, I noticed they took away the item from their website in an attempt to hide this. But they must have thought that I'm a simpleton who doesn't understand how the internet works. I didn't realize that when you search for Rebounder on their site, it shows the item in question, so I took a screenshot of that. Then another of the item page that now showed missing. But then I did a Google cache search for the same page and found a version from 2 days prior happily showing the item. Then I added a comment to my original post highlighting how they were trying to hide it with the evidence and trolling them for their heinous behavior, especially at Christmas. Then I tagged and shamed all their senior officers again. And at this point, it was really starting to get some attention. Not only publicly, but 3 people in incognito mode viewed my profile. I wonder who they could have been. So naturally, I took a screenshot of the 3 mysterious visitors listed on my profile and did the same thing. I commented on my own post, highlighting it and trolling them for their incompetence. The next morning, I got a call from a senior executive at their head office in the UK, practically licking my boots with apologies, asking what she can do to make this right. I told her that I originally only wanted my 50 euros back, as it wasn't fair nor even legal that I had to pay it. But since I had to go to such lengths to get their attention, now I want my 50 euros back, a full refund on my entire purchase, and I want to keep the product. That was the only thing that would make this go away. She asked for a couple of hours to fix it, and I said okay. About an hour later, I got another call from her apologizing. She asked for my PayPal address where she sent the 50 euros. Then she refunded the whole purchase, and she let us keep the product. Obviously, I thanked her for her help, because at that stage, I was just happy that it was over. But I'll be damned if I let anyone walk over my family, even if they're a 58 million pound annual company. The moral of the story here is, don't take BS from anyone. I may be just one man, but my son's view of Santa is far more valuable to me than the opinion of some retail chain that doesn't care about its customers, nor how it operates ethically. That was r/pro revenge, and if you like this content, check out my podcast where I publish the exact same episodes. Also, hit that subscribe button because I put out new Reddit videos every single day.
Oh, Jesus. Bro was not happy, dude. Holy shit. Hello. Hello, Elle. Welcome in. Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. Here. Is that all you got? Thanks for the hydrates, Elle. It's so funny that the model, since it uses my tracking from VTube Studio in like the thing, it also made this. Not enough water. That's all of the points from last stream.
Welcome to r/Am I the Devil, where OP's dog keeps attacking his pregnant wife, and OP picks the dog over his wife.
What the
The
fuck?
next Reddit post comes from r/Am I the Butthole. Am I the butthole for not getting rid of my dog when my wife asked me to? I'm a 32-year-old man, and my wife is 29. I'm not saying my wife's concerns aren't valid, because they are. I'm simply not willing to rehome my dog, a 3-year-old healer. My mother-in-law gave us the dog for free 2.5 years ago, and its behaviors have always been there. She gets into the cat box constantly. She gets up on our
Back in
table
middle
when we aren't
school.
looking. She growls at us for redirecting her every single time. She absolutely has bitten the back of my wife's leg when my wife was vacuuming, or bitten my wife's hand when my wife went to take something away.
Did you listen to r/ specifically? When I first started listening to r/, oh my God, dude, you were in middle school? I was like, oh man, how old is his freaking channel anyways? Because I've been listening to him for what, around the start of COVID. I think he started around the beginning of COVID. Joined 2019. Yeah. I've been watching him basically since he started. I think he was only like a few months into having been uploading every single day. I 2019. I'll be 28 this year. 6 years ago. I was like 20, 21, 22. And you were in middle school? r/ specifically started January 7th, 2019. So you could have been listening to somebody else, but r/ specifically has been around since 2019. Who did I listen to? It feels like that one Patrick meme where he goes, "Who are you people?" Yeah, there's a lot that listen. Um, there's another one that my girlfriend listens to, but his stories and r slash's kind of started to overlap a bit, and I preferred r slash's voice. So r slash is the only one that I listen to read Reddit stories. It was your graduating year of middle school, which was 2019. Jesus. It makes me feel so old, dude. I graduated high school in 2015. You finished middle school in 2019. What the hell? I feel so old. 2 years ago. That's crazy. I guess I got really lucky with when I graduated. Uh I didn't have sorry, excuse me. I didn't have to worry about the COVID stuff. I heard about how horrible that shit was, dude. I can't imagine. Thank you. Dankeschön. Dankeschön. COVID was your freshman year. That's crazy, dude. I was working in a bakery when COVID hit. I was an essential worker. That shit sucked, dude. And I wasn't getting paid enough for it. I'm really happy with how this model's looking so far. Little ear wiggles, they're so cute. And then the back molars coming up when she speaks. Oh, this is so cute. Full year of non-COVID. It was your senior year. That's fucking crazy, dude. I can't imagine. Hmm. Sorry, trying to get my neck to pop.
Way that she wasn't supposed to have. So the dog has bitten my wife twice over the time that we've had her, and both times they were barely hard enough to draw blood. They just left scratches that had tiny beads of blood. We brought her to
Bro,
the
what the
vet,
fuck?
and we were told that she has a hormonal imbalance, most likely due to inbreeding. My mother-in-law got her from a breeder in Kentucky, so I guess it's possible.
Same.
Nothing about the people, and
Like-
we were told that there were 6.
Hold on. Can I do it right now? No. I got all of my cracks out of my fingers already. But normally I can crack the shit out of my fingers.
Male dogs to 2 females. The dog was put on meds, but it didn't help the issues. More things are the fact that she runs off and jumps out of her vehicle when we aren't looking and takes off. She's broken through many leads and harnesses, one of them meant for large dogs over 80 pounds. She jumped out
Jesus.
of our vehicle when we stopped at a red light the other day and took off down the street. She chewed through her dog's seatbelt and we didn't realize it. It took us over 4 hours to get her back in the vehicle, and my wife missed her doctor's appointment as a result.
Jesus.
She's pregnant. Now, these issues were brought up heavily lately because my wife said, and I quote, "I outright refuse to continue dealing with this when our baby arrives. You have 6 months to find a new trainer and correct her behavior, or the dog is gone." We've already been to
Yeah.
trainers, however, and even the trainers have stated that this is likely an imbalance of chemicals, not behavioral. This was after 2 years. She was just taken from the training program 4 months ago. She can't be heavily medicated due to other health-related issues. But I'm also not willing to just give up on my dog. My wife, on the other hand, has no qualms of rehoming her because of her being bitten and her simply being completely fed up with revolving her life around a dog when she has a baby on the way and no energy. Missing her appointment and chasing the dog around for 4 hours truly made her resentful because it was the gender ultrasound that she had been looking forward to. I told her I was not getting rid of the dog, and she immediately started packing her stuff.
Yeah,
She's currently with her
good.
mother, and she texted
I'd
me
leave
and said she
too.
will not be coming home until the dog is gone. I think it's just hormones, but my friends have stated that I'm the butthole
You
because
are.
I'm essentially choosing an annoying and aggressive dog over my wife and unborn child. I'm a dog lover. I've had dogs my entire life. I have a dog right now. I cuddle with my dog every single night. I think dogs are 10 out of 10 animals. OP, you are completely wrong here. This is not safe for the wife. I don't know what kind of bacteria is in a dog's saliva, but I would not want my pregnant wife getting bitten by any animal.
Yeah.
Inevitably, what happens when it bites the baby? I genuinely think that we're in divorce territory here. The wife
Absolutely.
is not mad enough about this. Our next Reddit post comes from r/the other.
On the bed back. Yeah, no, like, look, I'm an animal person. Absolutely. I have 4 cats and we have a lizard. We have 4 cats and a lizard. So like we have a lot of animals. Like I'm definitely an animal person. I've grown up with dogs, you know. But if your dog is constantly biting, even if it hasn't broken the skin that bad, the fact that it has broken the skin enough to make her bleed ever so slightly and she's pregnant, no. That dog's gotta go. The husband's gotta go. That dog's gotta go. It's literally, it's me or the dog. That one show, it's me or the dog. That's exactly what is going on right here. It's me or the dog, and I'm sorry. But if I was pregnant and my family dog kept biting me and my husband refused to get rid of the dog, I'd be gone. He wouldn't hear from me again. He'd be blocked. I wouldn't even give him a chance at that point. Because if he's willing to let an animal hurt me, he's willing to let that animal hurt my child. And no, that won't happen. Like what if you get another dog and that dog starts biting that dog? What are you gonna do? You know? Oh, hello, welcome, Simafe. Thank you. Yeah, like I understand like where he's coming from. He doesn't want to give up on the dog because, you know, hormone imbalances. The dog, you know, can't exactly control it, and that's understandable. But if you are going to be in a relationship where you are going to build a family together, I'm sorry, but you can't have a dog that is as volatile as that in your family, which sucks. But you can do the research. You can find a good home that you know will be able to take care of that dog, provide it what it needs, provide it the medicine it needs, the medical care it needs. But your home life at that moment will not be what that dog needs or what you and your family needs. And you have to think of like the broader picture and not just, I don't want to give up on my dog. Good for you. That's like a good sentiment to have. You want to take care of your dog. But if your dog is causing enough issues in your life, you gotta figure something out. It's like, it sucks to have to do that. But you have to think of like the pros and the cons, and you have to figure out like what would be the best course of action, you know? Yeah, you can get another dog, which feels so heartless to say, but that dog would be better in a home that doesn't have a child, where it's probably just a single person that is able to properly give that dog the attention that it needs, you know? which actually I'll give a little story time. My mom, growing up, they had a chow chow, which is apparently, it's sad how many I've seen that need to rehome their, yeah, it, I would never want to have to rehome animals, but there's a time where you have to put aside your pride and think of what's going to be best for that animal. You know, it sucks, but you have to think of all of the options that would go into it. But no, my mom, when she was younger, they had a chow chow, and they made sure, you know, to never feed the dog table scraps, because, you know, you don't want your dog begging. You don't want it to get used to being able to sit at the table and beg for food and everything. So her, I think she said it was either her grandparents. Oh, a chow chow? Hold on. They're like big, fat, fluffy dogs. Not to mention those who are abandoned. Oh, yes. I hate people that abandon animals for no fucking reason. Oh, I said white, but they're more tan. Hold on. Let me pull up a picture. But like some family members came over to visit, and they didn't know that they weren't supposed to feed the dogs from the table, which honestly, if you're going to come to somebody's house with pets, don't feed them shit. You don't know what the fuck that dog might have, like, be able to eat and not eat. Like, the fuck do you mean you're just going to give people's animals, like, random shit, you know? But this is a chow chow. They're big dogs. Refugees are to deal with that every summer. Oh, yeah. Yeah, big fat fluff balls. Had a dog who lives his life on a chain in the backyard. Oh, I hate that shit. Don't chain your fucking dog up and just leave it in a backyard, because that's not a life for a dog. That's basically a prison. If all you're gonna do is just keep the dog outside chained up, you don't deserve a dog. Like, the fuck? That what the you can't do that. I hate that shit. But so the family member fed the dog like a bone from the dinner table, and my mom was a little child, and she didn't know better. In her little child mind, she was like, oh my god, the dog has a bone, I'm gonna play fetch with the dog. So she took the bone from the dog, and the dog attacked her and bit her face. So her bottom lip actually was torn off. Like, she had to go get surgery to get her bottom lip like reattached. And she still has like a really big scar on her face from this dog bite. And after that, the dog kept trying to attack her. So they had to make the choice to like put the dog down, because at that point it was aggressive all the time, and it sucks. But once a dog is like to the point, you know, they're going to like attack someone every time they see them, like there's not much you can do, you know, which sucks. But oh, yikes. The neck is bonkers, dude. That could kill her. Shit. Glad she's okay. I don't know why she does. She got a huge dog knowing she didn't have the space and banished her to the backyard. Bro. I like... Even then, like, chaining dogs up outside is... I personally... If I ever get another dog, I will never do that. Because when I was younger, we had gone to go visit my aunt and uncle. Oh, what the fuck? Why is that doing that? Oh, somehow that got moved up. The fuck? The fuck? What? What? Oh, it got moved into that. Hold on. Okay. But we had gone to go visit my aunt and uncle, so we put the dog outside on a leash so that he wouldn't be stuck inside all day. while we were gone. Well, he got up on the back porch, and in trying to get down, trigger warning, he hung himself. So when we got home, my stepdad had to be like, take the kids inside, other door, don't let them come back here. 'Cause, you know, he's dead. He's dead, you know? So that sucked. So I definitely, if ever I have a dog, I will never, ever, ever leave that dog on a leash. I don't fucking care. I will find the money to pay somebody to walk that dog if I need to, push come to shove. I will never put a dog out on a chain, on a leash, on anything. No, dude, that's, I didn't see it, but knowing that that's what happened, this shit's traumatizing, dude. Like, I will never do that to a dog, bro. Fuck that shit. That was depressing. That was very depressing. Not the smartest idea, but keep the door open. Yeah, a rodent girl. I had 2 gerbils like forever ago. They lived, I think, 3 or 4 years, so they got a long life. Another trigger warning. Around when they died, or when the first one died, is how I figured out that rats will eat each other, or anything in the rodent family will eat each other. So, if the other one is dead or dying, and they're hungry enough, they'll eat the other one. So, and then I think he got a tumor after that, and then he like died shortly. He died shortly after that. Their names were Hamsterville and Reuben, after the Lilo and Stitch guys, because they looked like Reuben was like a nice tan color. He reminded me of Reuben, so I named them Hamsterville and Reuben. But they lived a good long time, so. Excuse me. I used to wear it once, where parents always replace their child's guinea pigs every time one died for multiple years. The immortal guinea pig. Oh shit, it's already 11 o'clock, dude. What the fuck? A small lap dog. Chihuahuas are so cute. I hate how they get bad reps, because honestly, Chihuahuas are really sweet. As long as you, like, don't mistreat them. My aunt and uncle had a fluffy Chihuahua who, his name was Bear, and he was about the size, he could fit in my hands, and I got small hands, so he could fit in my hands. He was a little baby, and you'd be like, come here, Bear, and then he would lay on his tummy, and he would drag himself over to you, and he was so small that when he got fleas, he had to be taken to the vet because they took all of his blood. So they'd have to give him a blood transfusion whenever he got fleas because he was so tiny. He literally didn't have enough blood in his body. And he's got Chihuahua trauma. Aww. The budgie we had. Oh no. Forgot to feed him? Oh my god, bro. So we've actually had a lot of animals, or I've had a lot of animals growing up. And we had birds. We had 3 birds. The first one, they were technically all my brother's birds, which honestly, he shouldn't have had any birds. He honestly shouldn't have animals at all. He shouldn't even have kids. But that's a story for another day. They tried to tell me it got up and flew away next to it being dead in its cage. How do you tell the kid that it flew away and then sit it next to its corpse? Bro, what the fuck? I'm sorry to laugh at that, but bro. What the fuck? 10 out of 10 parenting. But no, the first one, he decided he wanted to cuddle the bird under some blankets and suffocated it. Which, keep in mind, he was a child. He's really stupid. First saw him, then they brought him out of the car. W parents. And then the second one, he was letting it roam around his room, and he had a TV tray that he was just like rocking around and shit, and he had a very messy room. He still doesn't clean like anything. And it fell over on top of the bird and squished it. And then the third one he had, when we had to move, we rehomed it. Yeah, we rehomed it. So he didn't have the chance to accidentally kill the third one. Yeah, especially hamsters. Oh, yeah. I made sure to take good care of my gerbils. I even had it where, like, they had a glass cage and also a plastic one. This way they could run through the little plastic tubes onto my desk, and then the glass cage was on the other side that held their food and bedding. So it was more just so that they could, like, run around and stuff. But then they chewed on the plastic a lot, so I eventually had to take it away from them because they kept, like, chewing on the plastic, which isn't good for their little tiny bodies. It's almost as easy as breathing, though. Yeah. No. One of our other odd pet deaths, the pet stores out here selling hamster prisons, they need so much space, it sucks. Yeah. They treat it as, like, a good first pet. But listen, we're talking about animals, Colbury. We're not talking about me. I might be a fox, but I'm not the pet we're talking about right now. Anyways. What pet was I talking about? I don't remember what pet I was talking about. We did have fish at one point when I was younger, and my stepdad accidentally put them into boiling water. Or I don't think it was boiling, I think it was just too hot. And he put them back into hot water. And then I don't remember how, but my mom accidentally killed our turtle. I don't know, dude. I was in, like, elementary school when that one happened. I don't think we got fish again after that. Um, hold on, let me turn on some background music since we're yapping. Yeah, my mom accidentally killed the turtle somehow. I don't know how the turtle could. Oh, we actually had some birds before. My brothers, we had 2 lovebirds, and we had gone on like a few days vacation, and they put like a fuck ton of water and food in there for them, and one of them froze to death, so the other one died of a broken heart. Put their turtles in the freezer. That's so smart. I don't know, man. Man, why the sad ass fucking Pokemon music playing, bro? The fuck? It knows that we're talking about really depressing topics, so it's like, bet, dude, I got you, I got you. We had a bulldog at one point who he likes getting out and he likes playing in the pool. Well, he got out one day and the kids, I wasn't home. I was off visiting my dad for the summer. So I couldn't do anything to prevent it, even if I wanted to. But he had gotten outside and they, I guess, just forgot that he was outside and left him outside, and he died of a heat stroke. What are the benefits of the manual? What's the time? Huh. No clue. See. His name was Dallas. He used to get out of the house and run down the street, and I would have to carry him back home. So think of tiny little, like, 4-foot me carrying a big ass, actually, I think I was 4'10", my current height. Jesus, half their height, that's crazy. Let's see, Freddie was our little weenie dog. They are. And he died of natural causes. What? Did I say that? Did I say how short I am? No. Hold on. I am 124 centimeters. Is that what your thing would be? Oh Lord. By the little people of America, I am technically legally a midget. Welcome, Biat. So small. Move down my arm to touch my head. I'm not that small. I'm not small. Oh. What the fuck? Holy shit. I'm sorry. I just discovered something new. You measured it? Bro. It's okay. I'm small and chunky. I gain like all of my weight in my stomach. I'm pretty sure if I was to wear like tight fitting clothes, I'd look pregnant. I'd need to lose weight so bad. See, being small and chunky wouldn't be so bad if I was like proportioned correctly, but I gain everything in my stomach and like my thighs. I am technically 70 pounds overweight for my height bracket. I wish I was taller. Yeah, bro. I love the way food tastes. I am such a taste person. I kind of freak my girlfriend out because I'll tell her and I'm like, bro, if I could turn the way this food tastes into like a lozenge, I would because it tastes so good. And she looks at me, she's like, what the fuck? And I'm like, but I'm sorry. Did I stutter? Because I want to keep eating because I like the flavor of the food. But I don't need to keep eating, you know? So like if I had a lozenge that was like flavored the food that I'm really fucking jonesing for right then I'd be perfect. I'd be set, dude. I wouldn't eat as much as I do because I could just have fucking lozenges to get me the flavor. Because that's my issue. I used to be that way, actually. I used to be on ADHD meds when I was a kid. And then I stopped taking them when I was like 15, 16. And I didn't realize that my ADHD meds were helping keep my metabolism in check. So I went from like 86 pounds to fucking like 100 suddenly, and I felt so fat, dude. I had never gained weight like that. I was a fucking twig, dude. Skinny bitch. Skinny legend. For real, for real. I felt that, but you know what? I've gained a lot of weight since my girlfriend moved in, actually. Both me and my girlfriend have actually, like, she's actually got a little tummy on her. She's so cute. I love her. She's so pretty. But my coworkers said that means that you're in a happy relationship. You are keeping each other well fed and happy, and that is happy relationship fat or weight. That means that you are happy with who you're with and where you're at, even if like you're not exercising. Like I guess it's a thing that happens when you're in like a good relationship and you're eating well and shit. So living in the world of How I Met Your Mother. So much sweets during my school time, never gained any weight. It's so weird. Yeah, I was 86 pounds like 12 years ago. I'm pushing 170. Dude, like, oh, yikes. Yeah, coconut curry chicken. Bro, that sounds baller. We had chicken, potatoes, and corn for dinner. Rice and naan. I miss naan bread. I used to have it when I worked in the in a bakery, but now that I don't work in the bakery, I don't really get naan bread. But fresh naan bread is like fucking crack, dude. I could eat that shit all the time. I'm such a bread person and a potato person. What is that? Starches? I like starches. I can't help it, dude. That shit just fucking hits, man. For real. It means bread? Does it? Is this a chai tea situation? Does chai also mean tea? What the fuck? That's so funny. I know that I think it's what do you call it? Pan is the same in both Spanish and Japanese for bread. It's pan for in both languages. It was made differently than the tea people were used to. Huh. Don't starve yourself, Summonite. It doesn't, like, as long as you know you're not like overeating, you don't need to starve yourself. You're okay, my guy. You don't need to fast. It's okay to have some fat. It's okay to be a little chunky, a little chubby, have a little weight here and there. You deserve to eat. In French, it's pain. You forget to eat. Yeah, it's okay to be a little chubby. I promise you, because that means that your body is happy and healthy. And if you have that there, like, it's good to have fat reserves too, so your body can eat the fat reserves. Because if you don't have enough fat on your body will start to eat your organs and other stuff. So it is okay. It's okay, I promise you. Please make sure you're eating, and like, even if you're eating like one meal a day, make sure it has all of the nutrients and protein and all the stuff you need in it. Make sure it's a good sized meal, that you're getting enough food. And it's okay if you need a snack a bit too. So like, if you don't want to have full meals, it's okay to snack as well. I promise you. Like, no matter what anybody tells you, it is okay to like have a little bit of weight. I promise. You'll be okay. You look pretty, you look handsome, you look wonderful, you look amazing. I don't even need a picture to just know that you guys look absolutely fucking killer all the time. Like, dude. We love here. Listen, I am a very positive person. I try my best to be. I have very strong opinions, and I am not afraid to voice them, especially when people, you know, like this. I want to make sure you are happy and healthy and loving yourself and that you're going to be okay. Ah, thank you for the follow, Simi Bay. Look like a hobo when I don't shave often enough. It's okay. I have to shave too. I probably have like PCOS or something. So I get like a little beard and like a mustache. So like I get it, dude. I look like a prepubescent boy when I don't shave my face. So like I get it. Make sure your soups have lots of protein and food in it. Get your iron, get your vitamins, get your supplements. Yeah. So like you understand it. Shit sucks. I haven't actually gone to the doctor for it because I can't afford to go to the doctor. But I have like all of the signs and symptoms of it. So, you know. We chillin', we vibing. Our body fucking hates it itself, but it's okay. Got out of the military and grew out his beard. He looks like a hobo. Oh no. That's okay. Sometimes the hobo look just hits right too. It's okay. Also, happy for you that your husband got out of the military, especially right now with everything that's going on. I'm happy for you, and I hope he never gets dragged off or nothing, and that you guys have a happy, healthy home life forever and ever and ever. Yeah. Ah, these bangs are moving so well. I'm so happy with this. Oh, I forgot to move the flowers on the y-axis. Speaking sucks. Okay. This one's gonna go on here. Yeah. 8 years. That's crazy. Well, I'm happy for you guys. This is a chibi style model. Also, yes, you said you like my art. Yeah, this is my art, actually. Thank you so much. So, everybody happy feels bad, man. It's okay, Coldbreed. You'll get there. I promise. You'll find that awesome she, he, they, what, whoever you choose to love. You'll get to it. You're good. You're good. Yeah, this is a little chibi model that I'm working on right now. I forgot to move the flowers with the stuff because it needs to stay attached. Oh fuck yeah, dude. Are you getting a VTubing model? Fuck yeah. What are you gonna be? What are you gonna be? Yippee! The bangs are done. We've been going for how long now? 3 hours? Yeah. A taller chibi. So, yeah, I get it. You're gonna be a fairy? Hell yeah! Hell yeah! It is pouring outside. Making sure to save this so I don't lose my progress. I think I would cry. My girlfriend actually made the art for this model that you see me using. And then I rigged it. My little girl. Oh no. Epson chat for Colbury's browser. Also, I hate storms. Especially the ones that wake you up, dude. That shit's the worst. Yeah. Also, I haven't even introduced myself to you. But hello, Simifae. I am a queen of the night kitsune. I am stuck in a tiny body right now until my debut. The two flat. Why? Stinky. Stinky. Why? They detached from the hair? Oh shit. Did they? Yeah, the metal pipe is very loud. Okay. It's not detaching. I think it's just them wiggling around that makes it look like they might be. Ah. That's what you meant. You were like clipping it to see. Yeah, that's why I'm always checking stuff and moving stuff around to make sure that everything is being got. Thank you. I put a lot of work into it because Echo has a lot of little things on her model. So I made sure to have all of that. And we'll get the body schmoove in eventually, but right now. No, this is a way overdue, kind of like a gift almost. I did like a little giveaway like 2 years ago. I had drawn this initially and then I was like halfway through coloring it and I was really unhappy with how the model worked, and I messaged them and I was like, hey, like, do you mind if I completely restart this? I don't like my current chibi style. I want to rebuild it, make it better. And now here we are, and it's so much better than what I had initially. Because the first rendition just, it was not pretty. Personally. Like, I should be able to probably see it on here, actually. Hold on. I don't think I even got to coloring on it, actually. Yeah, this is what it looks like initially. I didn't even get to coloring. I hated how this looks, especially like the face. It was not, I was not happy with it, was not enjoying the way it looked. Personally, for me, it looked really ugly, really, not it. So I'm so happy that they didn't mind me restarting this. Because now we're here and we're getting her schmoving. I also, actually, I could go ahead and show this one off. This one was a art trade that I did with Azure Onyx. I rigged her model for her. Yeah. She has a very nice necklace. I'm really happy with the angles on this model and how she moves around. I fucking hate thunder, dude. That's why I stopped. I heard thunder and I was like, no. No. Okay. The hair dangles are next. Okay, so these are a little longer, so I'm gonna have to do them a little differently. 'Cause I want them to make sure that they actually like move and shit. So let's see. Thank you. It's because so the flower that I'm based off is called the Queen of the Night, and it is a cactus flower. So and it only blooms at night, and from what I've researched, it also blooms only once a year too. So we're the blooming dunes. And then my chat is called my blooms. Jesus, I hate thunder that's like that gets that loud. Worst shit ever, dude. Oh, that's the kind that fucking wakes you up. Okay. So I'm gonna need 1, 2, and 3, essentially. Felt like I was in a war zone, Jesus. Okay. Okay, so right angle X1 rat. we're gonna need... Oh, my mouse disappeared for a second. Okay. A Fields of Mystria. I feel like I've heard of that. What's Fields of Mystria? Oh, yeah. I can see that. Oh, cute. That's so loud. I forgot how loud that was. I've heard of the Coral Islands. I have very bad attention span for games like that, so I tend to not play them. Yeah. I really should go to bed right now, but I want to get at least the dangles done. And they shouldn't take too long, since it's only 2. The bangs had a lot on them, but these don't have too much. Yay, dangles! My ass don't dangle. Okay, ad break's done. When you send the feels bad man, Is that supposed to be that little emoji thing or whatever that like pops up on the stream? So I'll see other streamers have that. I don't have that. I don't even know what that thing's called. But I just realized that every time you're sending that, you're probably expecting one of those emotes to actually show up on screen. I'm so sorry. I don't know anything about that browser extension. Ah. PTTV or T7 TV. Interesting, interesting. Fuck. Oh, is it like a Twitch extension I can add in? Just released a statement about a... Oh, shit, bro. I have no clue. I just fly by the seat of my pants and hopes it works. And hope it works. So, your guess is as good as mine. Ancient civilization nerd and cultural research. Hell yeah, dude. That sounds fucking baller. Okay. I need these two. Fuck yeah, dude. 7 TV got a tutorial. Okay, I'll have to look into the 7 TV. I might need the bottom to be what reacts the least. Hold on. Let's put this on pendulum 3. I'm gonna put that on pendulum 1. Oh shit. That's a little too much. Put that on 2, that on 1, that on 3. Ooh. That's right. That's how you spell archaeologist. Hmm. Yeah. It's okay. No, it's not that one. This one. Okay, so I did the 30, 2010. Shaking influence. Okay. Let's see. Oh, Twitch was trying to tell you it was wrong. That's so weird. Oh, I think it's because you're adding an A to it, and American English takes away certain letters. So I wouldn't fret it too much, because when I spell neighbor, for some reason I always put a U in it, like it would be if I was like, you know, British, but it doesn't look correct if I don't add the U into it. You know what word that I can't fucking spell? Restaurant. It doesn't matter how many times I get autocorrected on it and see the correct spelling. I can't spell restaurant off the top of my head. Okay. I think, yeah, I need to actually... I want the top part to move a little bit more. I need to actually turn this too. Call it Minecraft now. Mincecraft? That's so funny. Okay. There we go. Ugh. Hair that used to hold a chocolate frog now holds thumbtacks. Oh no. Dankeschön. Thank you. That does sound like a recipe for disaster. Oh no. Future me problems. Burpo. Oh shit. That was some bright ass lightning. Ooh, I didn't count that, but that was like probably like 5 seconds. God damn, y'all hear that one? That was loud. Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I think that was roughly like 5-8 seconds, so that means it's pretty close by. This coffee mug with this thumbtack mug. Oh no. It's like people mistaking their water and their paint water and their regular water. I'm glad at least you can enjoy it. At least one of us is happy here. Yeah. I've just never really been a fan. Artillery shots. Oh, look at that. She's moving. Look at her go. Now we just gotta add the Y's. I have to have a fan and music going to fall asleep. I'm pretty sure I have tinnitus because I get that ringing when it's like dead silence, and I'll hear it even with noise, but it's the worst in silence. Damn. Is it because of the sound or because of the light? I hate sleeping with the light. but we have the router, the Wi-Fi router in our room, and we just haven't put anything over the little light on it. But that shit, I hate it. I hate seeing light when I'm trying to go to sleep. I like sleeping in darkness. Ah. Thankfully, our computer room is separate from our bedroom, so I don't have to worry about that anymore. I don't know why I made that single thing 50-50. God, yeah, I feel that. Yippee! The bangs are done! Yeah! Yippee! Hell yeah. Alright. We're going to end stream there. Oh, cool. We made it to literally 12 o'clock. Fuck yeah. We're actually not as bad off as I thought I was. Okay. Let's see. I see Lumina is streaming. So since she gave me a raid the other day, we got the dangle now. Yippee! Hell yeah. We're gonna go ahead and give Lumina a raid back since she gifted us a raid. We're gonna raid her back today. She is doing ASMR right now. So if you like ASMR, you know, but yeah. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. Have a good night, everyone. Good day, good night, whichever, whatever it is. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Yippee! Bye-bye. Heck yeah. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Chum chum chum. Chum 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 chum. Let's do these tappies. Oh, it's morning for you. Oh, hi, June. Thank you for the raid. Hi. Welcome in, raiders. How are you? Hello. Hello, hello. Can we get a shout out for June, please? I'd appreciate it. Thank you so much for the raid. How was your stream? What were you up to? Were you doing art? Hi. Thank you, Zere, for the follow.
Two-step 1293 just followed.
My voice is familiar. Spooky. Thank you for shouting out June, everybody. Go check out
Zalnico
June. June is
333
a
just
YouTuber,
followed.
Kitsune, and a lovely artist that does a lot of beautiful work. Also does model rigging and models. You should definitely
Albrechto just
check out
followed.
June. Yeah, please. Model rigging.
Chepopu
Yay!
just
Heck
followed.
yeah, that sounds fun. Oh, also, thank you, Disco, for the raid. Hi, welcome. Oh my goodness. Double raid. How was your stream? Hi. It was good. What were you up to? I'm doing ASMR, so hi everybody if you're new. Maybe I should introduce myself. Yeah. You can call me Kira. I'm a unicorn VTuber and also an ASMR artist. So we just vibe and have some chill, comfy times usually. I just chat and we do triggers. But yeah, I'm an ASMR streamer. So it's lovely to have you all. Bad commentary. Sorry. Bad commentary for 40k lore. Oh, I know like next to nothing about Warhammer besides I like the, what are they called? The Tyranids, because they look like xenomorphs. I know they're inspired by like xenomorphs. I think those are pretty cool.